Welcome to Inner Mastery, where I teach you the secrets within you. Guys, if you are going through a lot of change, there is intensity, you're not understanding what's going on in the world, maybe with the most recent election, and there is suffering in your life, this video is for you. I understand that suffering is difficult, but what I want to offer is that it's actually an opportunity. It is an opening into being able to increase your conscious level of awareness. And if you have not already, if you're listening to this show and you enjoy it, please give this a 5-star review on whichever platform where you're listening. If you're here on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications as I'm putting out content every single week. And let's dive into this next episode all about suffering. And I hope by the end of it, you see the gift too. Hey there, Danielle Matthews here, your Inner Mastery teacher, and today I want to talk about suffering. You know, suffering is something that is necessary in life. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think if you are going through some level of suffering right now, that what's being put in front of you is a beautiful opportunity to learn and to go deeper within yourself. Now, would you want to live in a world where there was no suffering? I think our ego minds would tell us, right? Our thinking mind would say, of course, right? It wants to seek pleasure and avoid pain. You know, our mind is built to navigate this world and to help the body get through it, help make sure that, you know, we don't do anything that hurts us. And so our mind, understand this, it works on a binary system. Seek pleasure, avoid pain. That little voice inside that starts to jump in when you're about to do something new or go out, and it says, wait, what about that other time? This has happened before. I don't know. I'm nervous, because it's avoiding pleasure, right? And it wants you avoiding pain, and it wants you to seek pleasure. So just watch the little voice in your head and watch what happens. And typically when something occurs in life that you don't want, that is painful, that's not pleasurable, that little voice gets really loud. Fear starts to kick in and you start to suffer immensely. And what I want to tell you is that the suffering, if you allow it, it will actually crack you open. Okay, suffering will literally drive you deeper into the truth of who you are, rather than getting distracted by the facade, the illusion of who you are. All right, you are not your mind and you are not your thoughts. And you will come to a point where you realize that you don't have to think every thought that goes through your mind. You do not have to suffer every emotion that moves in and through your body. You can be the witness to them. All right, you were there before the thought came. You're going to be there after the thought goes. Be the witness. The truth is, once you realize that you are not your thoughts, all of a sudden you can start to disidentify from them. But typically this doesn't happen. Like when all is going well and happy in life, you don't mind your thoughts. You don't mind your emotions. Everything is good, and so you don't question. And you still live in the material world. The moment something happens that causes you to drop to your knees, it might be the death of a loved one, the ending of a relationship, being fired from a job, what's happened in the election here in 2024, whatever external circumstance has occurred, and all of a sudden the amount of suffering in your world seems extreme. It's too much. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to navigate it. It's usually then that you surrender and something within cracks open. When you can let go, when you can stop resisting what's present, when you just say, fine, I accept what's here is what's here, and you release, all of a sudden, you will get a little glimpse of deep peace, of a serenity that lives inside you and all around us all of the time. And until you suffer, you never question the thoughts that come in, the emotions that come in. Typically, our mind has our attention, and we just, where it tells us to look, we look, and we just follow it, not realizing that, hey, I can actually consciously move my attention over here. I don't have to look at this all the time. I don't have to think what the thoughts are that are coming through. I can go, oh, that's an interesting thought. I'm going to choose to think this instead. I'm going to look over here, not at this. So suffering, it's really interesting. There is a noble purpose behind it, okay? And the evolution of your consciousness is going to be dependent upon your ability to get rid of your ego mind, to realize that you are more than the ego, to become that witness to everything. And typically, it's suffering that causes you to break. It causes you to look somewhere different. It causes you to have a different conversation, because Suffering is actually the ego mind, freaking out about experiencing pain, not wanting to do this, completely resisting what is present. And the truth of the matter is, what's here is already here. You've already lost the job. The relationship has ended. Your loved one has passed away. The election results are in. Whatever it is, it's already happened. And if you resist that within your mind, your mental, emotional health will plummet. You are going to feel anxiety, depression, stress, have panic attacks. It's going to be very difficult if you are resisting reality. You're creating more suffering for yourself, right? The Buddhists say everyone experiences pain, but it's a choice to suffer, right? There's going to be experiences that are painful. The loss of a loved one is painful, right? An outcome that you didn't want or desire is painful. But if you keep mulling over it in your own mind, resisting the fact that it's here, you're causing your own suffering. So I suggest to you to stop, to realize that that suffering is actually a mind-created issue and you are not your mind. And so when I say there is a noble purpose behind suffering, suffering causes you to actually look for something outside of the mind. And that is when you can access the stillness, the peace, the backdrop, right? The blue sky behind the hurricane, behind the thunder, also behind the rainbows. It is there all of the time. So when you can finally say yes to suffering, to allow it to be there, to surrender to the moment, to accept what is, to stop resisting, all of a sudden that very thing literally just melts you into experiencing something that is the peace beyond all imagination. And that's your true self. That's who you truly are. And that's why I think suffering is a gift. You know, for myself, I had a traumatic brain injury. I was hit by a drunk driver and my life ended as I knew it. I couldn't work. I couldn't hang out with my friends. I couldn't be on the computer, my phone, the TV, nothing. And I was just in a dark room all day, trying to get myself better, not finding solutions in the external world. And I was resisting it and I was suffering. And the moment, and it took over a year, but the moment I finally said, this is ridiculous. The physical symptoms are here. Like there's nothing I can do. As justified as I feel in saying like this shouldn't have happened, it's not fair, etc., it did happen. And the moment that I said, okay, what can I control? Well, I can't keep resisting the fact that this happened. Like it's here. So where can I, if I accept that it's here, how can I act now? Right? There's new rules on my game of life, but how can I still find the happiness? And that was the moment that everything shifted. It was like the suffering all of a sudden caused me to go inward and go, wait, these thoughts aren't helpful. These emotions aren't helpful. Let me get those under control. Let me choose differently. Let me look over here instead. And I stayed in the present moment. And all of a sudden, I found the secret to life, which is that I am more than my thoughts. I can disidentify from them. I can choose how to interact and react to life, and I get to decide how I want to live. My internal response is mine to have, and I don't have to suffer. It's a choice, and I can access this witness space all of the time. All right? But if you don't suffer, like many people say, I don't want my kids to suffer, right? I don't want them to have to go through anything. So we're trying to protect and control their environment. And the truth of the matter is, your kids will never experience the depth of what it means to be a human being if they are only ever having fantastic experiences. All right? They will never question. They will never have to go deeper. They will be very shallow, very materialistic. There is a depth to the human experience that can only be accessed. The door that opens it is suffering. You have to go through that door. We all do. It's like an initiation into then realizing, wow, yes, there's the human aspect of me that deals in this world with the mind, but there is a being aspect of me. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. I hope this makes sense. If you are suffering, if you need support, reach out. discoverintention@gmail.com is my email. I'm happy to talk with you. I want to build up this community so we can have more conversations. If you learn to master this inner world, to understand why things are happening, that these things are a gift, right? Whatever suffering is occurring in your life, the mind is causing a lot of it. There's a lesson you're meant to be learning, and the faster you learn it, your consciousness is going to increase and your awareness level is going to go through the roof. So if I can play some small role in that journey for you, I would absolutely love to. And I honor that light inside of you. I see it, and I want to keep cultivating it to come out. Have a beautiful day, everybody.